Good morning, everyone, and welcome to KDKA Radio. The date is June 14th, 1927, and today I will be interviewing some of the most influential individuals of this time period. Let's begin with Louis Armstrong. So, Mr. Armstrong, how did you start your career in music?
Well, I had a tough childhood. I had to leave school in 5th grade so I could start working. This nice family gave me a job delivering coal and collecting junk. They would invite me to dinner and ask me to sing at their house. I was a really good singer. Then I was put in a home for boys. There, I was given lessons on the cornet. That's where my love for music started. I knew I wanted to make a living, but I had to continue working. Once I had enough money, I started investing my time in my music. I began concentrating full-time on cornet, playing parties, dances, funeral marches, and at local honky-tonk. I loved this work. Later, I joined King Oliver, my mentor, in his Creole jazz band on second cornet. There, I met a woman. She was stuck on me. She told me that I was too swell for Oliver and told me to join John Henderson. John gave me a series of solos, and I introduced the concept of swing music to his band. Everyone loved me. But I was from the South, and I did not fly with the rest of the guys. From there, I joined many more bands and left them. I recorded many records, and they were very influential. I also began scat singing. I played my music for silent movies. Man, they were fun.
Tell us about the Columbia Broadcasting System and the National Broadcasting System.
NBC made its first network broadcast at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on November 15th, 1926. Man, that was a hit. There were a lot of musical people and things like that. The Columbia Broadcasting System began in 1927 when talent agent Arthur Judson wasn't able to obtain work for any of his clients on the radio programs carried by NBC. These networks were big hits, and they started like the TV era. I actually met my good friend Charlie Chaplin working with NBC. He was doing a silent movie and I played music for him. We became good friends after that. He was a goofy man, but I liked him. He was a good kiddo.
What is your favorite instrument or type of music?
Trumpet. Definitely trumpet. Well, I started out on the cornet. That's where my music career began. I played in concerts and jazz bands, and it wasn't until 1926 that I switched to trumpet. But I love trumpet. As for the music, I like jazz music. It's more of a generic variety where jazz kind of contains blues, you know?
The dogs say goodnight, and I think to myself,
yeah, jazz is hosty-toasty to me. I love jazz. Just my style, you know?
Hello, Coco Chanel. Thank you for joining us today. My first question for you is, what is your favorite part about the flapper movement?
One of my favorite things about the flapper movement is definitely the support among all of the women involved and the goal of individuality in each woman. It's really swelling, the way that women as well as women's fashion is represented in mass media today has changed so much, and it's great how all the ladies want to go against the social norms.
What is your average daily routine as a fashion designer and flapper?
Well, I have quite a few boutiques open right now around the world, but my particular favorite would have to be my Paris boutique because it's my original, so I like to spend a lot of my time there.
How did you become interested in the fashion industry? Can you tell me about some of your designs?
I actually got into fashion as a young child. So I was born in France, and I grew up in an orphanage where I actually learned how to sew from the nuns who raised me. And at first, I attempted to become a singer, but when that didn't work out, I opened my first clothing store in 1910, and I'm still growing my fashion empire today. Fashion to me should be very spiffy. Women are becoming more and more independent these days, and they need their clothes to keep up. I like creating clothes that are functional but elegant. That combination is simply the bee's knees. A lot of my current designs are actually made with sturdy materials typically used for men's clothes. Women want their fashion to free them from the shackles of society, and I'm here to give women what they want.
What is your favorite dance move and why?
My favorite dance move would have to be the Charleston. So fun.
Good morning, Bessie Smith, and thank you for being with us today. I have a few questions to ask you. My first one is, where's your favorite place to perform?
I just love performing at speakeasies, especially those on a main drag. But my favorite place I've ever performed is the Cotton Club in New York. It's the bee's knees. Speakeasies are fun because after the Volstead Act and during the time of Prohibition, it's the only place to get giggle water. I can't believe they banned alcohol. It just raised crime rates and the youth want to drink. It really only made the problem worse. Everyone was just running around buying hooch.
How did you first get introduced to the Cotton Club?
My manager booked me to play there when I first started getting real gigs.
What type of activities does this club participate in?
The Cotton Club sells liquor to those who still want it during the time of Prohibition. They've been shut down a few times because, it's illegal with the Volstead Act. But the best part about them is they don't segregate. It really brings everyone together and just allows the music to unite the way that all artists want it to.
Okay, last question. What is your favorite fashion trend?
I just adore bohemians. Their lifestyle is the cat's meow. They're so artistic. Their ruffle skirts and positive lifestyle is so appealing. A lot of my fellow artists are bohemians. It's a really common lifestyle around artists.
Hello, Mrs. Hurston. I have a few questions for you here today. My first one is, who are some of your favorite authors and why?
I'm not sure I could pick one as my favorite, seeing they're all such copatic people. Langston Hughes wrote a swell poem in 1921 when he was only 17. The Negro Speaks of Rivers. This kiddo wrote his most famous poem in only 15 minutes. Another big cheese is Ernest Hemingway. He wrote a novel recently, actually, and it was great. Hemingway wrote about his experiences in World War I in Europe. Although his novel is hotsy-totsy, he portrayed me to be self-indulgent, which was quite hard-boiling. F. Scott Fitzgerald, on the other hand, is The Bee's Knees. My favorite novel by him is The Great Gatsby, which greatly reflects the jazz of our age.
Which piece of literature that you've written is your personal favorite?
I've only just started my career as a writer, but my work has been featured in The New Negro and Interpretation. The New Negro is a combination of fiction, poetry, and essays. All literature in The Negro is based on African and African American art. I'm so lucky to have been featured in this collection of work with the talented Darbs. I cannot wait for my career to broaden.
Speak easy, rocking the feathers, I'm breezy. Hope you can keep up, boys, cause believe me, I'm the bee's knees. It don't mean a thing if I give you my heart, if you tear it apart, no, It don't mean a thing if I ain't in your eyes, Papa, that ain't gonna fly, no,